Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Now, she says UKIP is the official opposition in waiting, but how can UKIP's new leader, Diane James, stop the infighting and factionalism that's threatened to destroy the party's electoral ambitions? And what's the point of UKIP now that the UK has voted for Brexit? Diane James will join me live in a moment, but first here's our Ellie reporting from UKIP's party conference in Bournemouth, where the new leader moved swiftly to put her stamp on the party.
It is an absolute pleasure to announce, with 8,451 votes, the leader of the UK Independence Party, Diane James.
So there you have it, the biggest non-surprise in politics in years. Diane James is the new leader of UKIP. She's been the front runner in this leadership campaign all summer. Of course, the challenge now is convincing this lot she knows what she's doing.
I am not Nigel-like. I'm not even Nigel Light. I will never, ever pretend to be so. What I will be doing is stepping into his leadership shoes, but I will be doing everything to achieve the political success that he's handing over to me and to you.
But as the new leader, Diane James knows she has big shoes to fill.
Nigel was a great, almost wartime leader. I think he said that during his speech. And I think Diane's a different kind of leader. I think she'll do great.
There's talk of war, there's talk of peace times, but unfortunately there aren't peace times within UKIP at the moment.
I think this pretty much settles the issue. I'm pretty sure Diane's strong on these sorts of issues.
What do you mean? What's she going to do?
In many ways, Nigel, I think, was slightly weak, actually. So, I mean, there's really only about 4 or 5 people that cause trouble in UKIP. And I'm pretty sure that's the end of the story, really.
But just before a live interview with UKIP's Stephen Wolfe, I was literally caught in the middle of what you could describe as a political pantomime.
You're not deaf, you're not blind, you'll have seen and heard what is said on the media. And so...
I kept out of it, Neil.
Oh, no, you haven't.
For 6 or 7
Oh, no, you haven't.
The reason for Neil Hamilton's anger? Diane James had rewritten the next day's conference schedule and dropped his speech.
Well, I don't understand this. It certainly seems a quixotic decision from somebody who an hour or two ago was talking about the need for party unity.
He was replaced with his rival in Welsh UKIP. You said to me the other day that there will be a bloodbath whoever got in. Is this the beginning of the bloodbath?
I think it's the beginning of Diane putting her foot down, showing that she is the leader and that she wants the rest of the conference to go the way that she wants it to go.
Morning, how are you?
Well, we're fine, just wondering who you are.
That's Douglas Carswell, by the way, the party's only MP. The now ex-leader thinks he knows exactly who he is and was using his newfound freedom to explain.
And during the referendum campaign, he's really done all that he can to basically split the party.
I'm delighted to see you, so great stuff.
But the new leader was there, symbolically, to greet him. Douglas, they're quite damaging comments from Mr Farage this morning now, aren't they? They're very personal.
Look, lots of people in politics say all sorts of things.
Diane James was also more than happy to share a platform with him.
Diane, I give you 110% of my support. Well done.
This conference ends on a conciliatory note, and there are signs this party is already moving in a new direction.
Ellie Price reporting, and we've been joined now by the new leader of UKIP, Diane James. Welcome to the Sunday Politics.
Good morning, thank you.
What's the point of UKIP?
A huge point. We are the only party, and if you look across all the political spectrum, we're the only party 100% committed to Brexit. You've got a Tory government that's still split. You've got a Labour government or Labour Party that's got no idea which direction it's going in. You've got what's left of the rump of the Liberal Democrats that are now relying on their voice in Europe, their single voice in Europe, to try and get their message across. And we're the one party that's going to stand up for that over 17 million people that want to leave the European Union. Simple.
Except that you're dysfunctional, aren't you?
No, we're not dysfunctional. No, we're not dysfunctional. We're embarking on a brand new era, as I said at the conference. And I know you're going to pick up on, the changes I made to the programme, but that's what the new leader's got the prerogative to do.
I understand that, and that leaders should lead. But Paul Nuttall, outgoing deputy leader, the splits have created a cancer at the heart of the party, led to its leading lights using UKIP as a football. You've got huge problems in Wales. There's been huge problems with the NEC. You've got an issue with Nathan Gill. Many candidates, favoured candidates, didn't end up not standing. Senior colleagues fall out. Membership has been declining. Funding's declining. What bit of that is not dysfunctional?
Well, thank you for reminding me of all of the issues that I've got to tackle over the next few weeks. I made it plain in my Meet Diane for Leader programme events around the country that I would have a 100-day plan, that I would be focusing on precisely the sort of issues that you've outlined. I don't agree with all of them, by the way. I don't agree with all of them by any means. But in 100 days, I hope to be able to show you that we are turning a corner and that we are, as I say, embarking on a new era.
But you've claimed you're going to be the real opposition to government.
Correct.
But you've only got one semi-detached MP in Westminster. That's delusional, isn't it?
No, it's not. Just look at where we are at this point. There's potentially 4 by-elections. We've already said we won't stand in one out of respect to Jo Cox, but there are 3 others. Look at that. Look at those by-elections in the context of the dysfunctional, I'll use your phrase, position Labour's in, and we are ripe to take those seats.
Do you accept that your only MP, Douglas Carswell, is pretty semi-detached at best?
I wouldn't have called him semi-detached either from the speech that he gave at the conference, for the endorsement that he gave me, and also for the endorsement he's given subsequently. I see Douglas Carswell as being a member of the UKIP team going forward.
Well, you've asked him to move a private member's bill to invoke Article 50.
We have indeed.
Has he agreed?
He's certainly stated that he's going to do his level best. The important...
That's not the same as agreeing.
Well, bear with me, Andrew. He also made the point that there is another option, and that is to repeal the European Communities Act and just to instigate a debate on that. We have now got an individual who's prepared to launch a 2-pronged attack in the House of Commons and force Theresa May into doing something.
A 2-pronged one-man
no problem with that.
Attack. He told me on Friday on the Daily Politics that UKIP should be, quote, a free market libertarian party. Is that your vision?
My vision is, if I can remind you from my speech and from everything I've given, it's probably just slightly different words, but it's global, it's positive, it's outward-looking, it's enterprise building, and it's making this country great again outside of EU control.
But is it free market and libertarian?
Well, and your point is, Andrew,
well, that was his vision. I'm trying to work out if the vision of your only MP is the same as the vision of its new leader.
OK, I would say it is the same as a new leader.
So you are free market and libertarian?
We are, absolutely. That's what a whole business about enterprise Britain and the
so,
focus we want.
I mean, given that the leadership campaign was a pretty much a policy-free zone,
yes,
what will be the most distinctive policies UKIP will stand for under Diane James?
Certainly this issue of migration and immigration, certainly the issue of defence, making us or giving us back the ability to defend this country.
These are your existing policies.
No, because all of these need a major refresh out of EU control. This whole aspect of homeland security, the aspect that we haven't even got a functioning border force, we haven't even got a functioning passport control system, we've even got a Home Secretary threatening, continuing the Project Fear aspect of, a visa charge for people going into Europe or coming into the UK. Absolutely bizarre. These are the sort of issues we've got to pick up and show that we can challenge.
I'm just trying to find out what the policies will be.
But may I finish with the other one, the major one for me, given my career background, and that is the state the NHS is in. And if we can really show a very clear vision and stand up to what Jeremy Hunt is doing in terms of decimating the NHS, I will be delighted.
Right, as you will agree, that's not a policy, that's an attitude.
Well, it's a policy in terms of NHS.
And we don't know about the policy because you refused to debate with other candidates during the leadership campaign and campaigned on a no policy platform. Why?
I campaigned, Andrew, I launched my own series of national events nationwide. I gave members and activists, and in fact the press, the media, and anybody who wanted to come along. There wasn't a bar in terms of membership only.
But why wouldn't you debate the other candidates?
To come along and interact with me for 2 hours. That gave individuals all of the members in that audience a solid 2 hours to really scrutinise what I had to say. That was a much, much higher quality programme than anything the hustings
But why
ever...
wouldn't you debate with your rivals?
Because there was no need to debate with my rivals. We were not fighting a general election. We were fighting, if you wish to use that phrase, to elect the new leader of UKIP. And I chose to go direct to the members, to interact with them directly, and to give them quality time with me and respond to all of their questions.
Many think UKIP's best chance is to win over disaffected working class Labour voters in the north. So how does the epitome of the home county's bourgeoisie do that?
Well, you tell me. I mean,
It's not my job.
I know, but I've never heard such convoluted language. Would you like to simplify that so that we can all understand what you're talking about?
Well, there could have been a number of leaders that your party could have chosen, Mr. Nuttall being one, Stephen Wolfe another, who would have, many would have said, would have a clear, more distinct appeal to the north.
OK. Paul Nuttall chose not to stand. That is, you need to ask him his reasoning
I'm
behind
just asking how you will appeal to the north.
Steve Wolfe, a superb colleague of mine, and regretfully there were issues in terms of getting his information in time. The point I've made throughout my programme of events is that I want to appoint 2 chiefs of staff, 2 people that will ably assist me in developing our programme, our policies, our strategy and such, to appeal, as you put it, both to the north and also to the south.
What are you going to do about Wales, where UKIP seems to be engulfed in a civil war?
I'm going to ask Neil Hamilton to focus on Welsh Assembly, on winning the elections in Wales. I'm going to ask Nathan to continue doing the superb job he does in terms of representing Wales in the European Union and in the Parliament and in the voting in Strasbourg.
So you're going to have 2 kings?
No, not 2 kings. As far as I'm concerned, Nathan has my complete and utter support. He has a huge legacy in terms of his membership, a huge wealth of knowledge in terms of the issues facing Wales if Mrs May doesn't action to vote to leave the European Union. He has got my full support. Neil, I'm asking you, step up to the plate, but focus on Wales and the Assembly.
One of your party's main funders, Aaron Banks, he's in the process of turning Leave.eu into what he calls a momentum of the right, to mirror on the right the Jeremy Corbyn movement on the left, the People's movement. Do you welcome that?
I've got no problem with it at all. But
do you welcome it, or would you prefer he put his money into UKIP?
Andrew, I have just been elected head of a political party. If Aaron wishes to do his own thing in terms of supporting a political movement, that is entirely his decision.
Other than Vladimir Putin, who's your main political hero?
Well, certainly not Trump, certainly not Clinton.
No, I didn't ask who wasn't. I said who is.
I can't think of anybody at the moment, apart from Mrs Thatcher maybe, and Winston Churchill.
So, Putin, Churchill and Thatcher. Very well. Hope to see you again.
Will do.
Thank you.
OK.
I've been getting away